All right, good morning, everybody. This is Chris coming to you with another video. First, let me say that I'm going to be filming from a different location this morning. Seems a little impersonal to me, but I had the car parked somewhere else where I keep a couple of my larger vehicles. So this is actually at a kind of a storage parking lot, and there is a small little shopping center right in front of it that has a nightclub attached to it. So there's all kinds of trash and foolishness all in the parking lot from last night. But anyway, let's go ahead and get into it. I have walked around this 2012 Buick Regal already, and as I mentioned, I keep some of my larger stuff here, like my dually and my ramp truck. But let's get back to the reason for the video. We're looking at a 2012 Buick Regal. This is a premium model. And why are we looking at a 2012 Buick Regal? Well, there you go. How many of you have seen that? 6-speed manual transmission in a 2012 Buick Regal. So let me go ahead and use this opportunity to shout out Manually Elitist Jerks Facebook group. They gave me the inspiration to start doing these videos. And let's talk about this Regal. Again, 2012. This one has about 159,000 miles on it, 6-speed manual, as you've already seen. The premium edition has chrome accents, 18-inch wheels, 220 horsepower, 4-cylinder, turbocharged 4-cylinder engine, and lots of amenities inside. It is keyless entry, leather interior, push button start, nice infotainment system, does have a sunroof up there. Decent looking car. Now, Buick also made, I think it's called a GS, that had a more powerful turbocharged engine. It also came in a 6-speed manual. I think that had 270 horsepower. It had much nicer looking wheels, at least in my opinion, than these. But this is the premium model. You'll see that T means that it is indeed a turbo. It's not the Ecotec 4-cylinder that some of these Regals had. This one came out of Maryland. Looks like it was sold at Boyle Buick GMC in Abingdon. Also noticed that when I got it a couple of months ago, it had Raven stickers, Astig Island, which I believe is on the shore, the eastern shore of either Virginia or Maryland, one of the two. Somebody can feel free to correct me. And as I go through the car, you'll notice that there's some sand in the car. So I'm assuming that whoever owned this car previously had was near some sort of beach or went to the beach regularly. All right, so let's take a look inside. This does have a leather interior. As I've said in many of my videos before, I do not spit shine these cars before I show them to you. I show them to you basically just as I receive them. The new owner will be responsible for detailing. That's the best way to get to know your car, is to detail it. Very nice looking two-tone leather interior with this cream and brown that's in here, at least in my opinion. This has got to be one of the most comfortable shifters I've ever shifted. I'll talk about that when I do my driving impressions. Lots of features in here with the infotainment system. I don't think it's a navigation system. It does not have a backup camera, but it does have parking sensors. Lots of steering wheel controls on here as well. One thing that it took me a while to figure out is that there is no release button for the trunk inside this car, and I'll talk to you about that in just a second. I guess I can, since I'm walking this way, I'll pop the hood. This does have LED running lights. It does have HID headlights. All of that stuff is standard, so there's no having to change out anything like I do in a lot of cars. I usually change out to a LED headlight. As you see, turbocharged engine. Not a whole lot to see here. Nothing beautiful or outstanding about the engine bay. If you're into that, could also use a good clean. I'm not into cleaning engine bays either. I like to leave stuff alone. Nice big grill. I think that might have something to do with the premium package as well, like maybe the chrome surround or the inserts or something. 18-inch wheels. Might as well talk about this now. So I will tell you that I definitely have two keys. Only have one key on me, but I definitely have two keys. So we have a Michelin. We have a Michelin. We have a Michelin. And we have a Michelin. All right, so we have 4 matching tires and we have 2 keys so far. So we are doing pretty good. Let's go in here and see what it looks like. Bam, we have an owner's manual. All right, we got the trifecta: matching tires, 2 keys, and an owner's manual. Just the passenger side. Again, it does have a sunroof. Nothing sagging or anything. Again, this leather could definitely stand some conditioning. It just needs a really good vacuum, a good wipe down. Would look a lot better. And these belts are buckled because that's part of the inspection process. So when I got it inspected, just never unbuckled them. So again, not a whole lot to see here. Very nice looking interior from a color perspective, in my opinion. I will point out a couple of things, and I may talk about it again when I drive, but the reverse, in order to shift this thing into reverse, see that button right there? You actually have to press that button and then move it over to your left and up, because this shift pattern has the reverse to your left and up. But in order to do that, that's kind of like the lockout. You have to press that little button right there. It also has an electronic parking brake. So nothing on the floor to press down, no handle to pull up. It is electronic. So I'm not a big fan of electronic brakes. I think Buick was going for some European styling cues here, because that's a very European thing. The very first car that I had a electronic parking brake in was a 2005 Audi A8. And this is a BMW cue here, having the unlock button on the center stack. BMW's famous for that. So yeah, I'm not sure if they were going for some European stuff or not, but definitely a couple of European cues in here. Now let's talk about a strange thing. There's no button inside for the trunk release. You can release the trunk with the key fob, but in order to open the trunk, you actually have to put your hand up underneath here, and then there's a little kind of button in there for you to open the trunk. So there you go. Nice, deep, wide trunk. I mentioned the sand to you earlier. This also could stand a good vacuum. I like looking down here just so you can see what the spare tire well looks like. If you see any moisture, anything like that, this looks really good. Now, this is a GM thing. I'm sure some other cars have it too, but it gives you all of the part identification codes for everything that the vehicle came with. A lot of times on older Chevrolets, this is in the glove box. For example, in my ramp truck right there, that white truck, that same tag is right inside the glove box. So that's definitely a GM thing. And let's get that back down. So it's probably about time to go ahead and take a little cruise and give you some driving impressions of this 2012 Buick Regal. So let's get everything closed up, set up, and I'll be right back. All right, we are back. I am buckled in, all strapped in. Go ahead and get started. As I mentioned, this does have a push button start. Push button start is right there. Key is in my pocket. And I will show this. I'll pick that up and show it in a little bit. But the dashboard on this car is actually really nice. It has, let me turn this off, or at least down. There's a display where you can turn on the speed, where you can see it. You can see, the temperature and miles per gallon and all of those different things that you can see from this vehicle information unit. trip information, fuel information, all of that type of stuff. I usually leave it on speed because I just like to be able to quickly see my speed if I have a digital option. So I mentioned this shifter it's a beautiful shifter. It feels great. I really enjoy it. Let me go ahead and get to a big guy score. This is a Buick, and I have not done my Roadmaster wagon yet. I will do that. But Buicks, in my opinion, are some of the most comfortable cars that I've ever driven. As a matter of fact, the most comfortable car I've ever driven in my entire life was a Buick Regal that I had many years ago. And if I could find a picture of it, I'll go ahead and insert it here. But that was the most comfortable car. And this car, for a guy my size, is extremely comfortable as well. I'm going to give it a good solid 9. I'll probably never give anything a 10, but it is an extremely comfortable vehicle. Seats are a little bit firm, but um, plenty of space. I mean, it's just feels good. Now, this 2-liter turbo has adequate power, 220 horsepower. If you get down on it, it'll get down the road. I just, this isn't the type of car that feels like you should drive it like that. It's kind of more of a family oriented. It doesn't really have a lot of sporty cues. I would imagine that the Regal GS would feel a little bit different. But when I'm driving this car, I'm not feeling like I want to, really accelerate hard and all of that, try to get the most out of the turbo engine like I would in my 535 wagon. It's two completely different beasts. But it is quiet, it is comfortable, it is extremely adequate. Um, the shifter feels great, the clutch feels fantastic. I mean, it's just a nice ride. It's not like overwhelmingly exciting, but the fact that it has a wiggle stick definitely helps. And I'm not accelerating super fast, but I don't want to exceed the speed limit. But yeah, I mean, it's nice. It rides great, shifts great. I've had this on the highway as well, and cruise control in 6th gear, and I like to look at fuel economy to see what it's doing, and I believe it was getting in the very high 20s when I looked at it. Now, of course, that's going to vary depending on how fast you're going, but around 75 miles an hour, if you can achieve that, that's not bad at all. So, one thing I do find in a lot of these more modern cars is I just think that the center stack and the steering wheels, I just think they're extremely busy. This one has a button where you can adjust the source, so you can change it from AM, FM. It does have both USB capabilities and, of course, aux. Steering wheel, I mean, the cruise control stuff is up here on the steering wheel as well. On the stalk, you have the menu where you can change the middle menu right here that has the display information. And obviously it has Bluetooth because it has all of the phone stuff. Again, another European styling cue here. If you watched my video for the Mercedes 6-speed manual that I actually still have, then I mentioned the like keypad that they had for like a telephone. This has dual climate control as well and heated seats. So it's has a lot of nice features in it, and I think these features are standard on the premium model. So very, very nice ride and pretty rare. I don't know how many people have seen a Buick Regal, which Buicks have always been more touted just towards comfortable, affordable family cars with the 6-speed manual in it. So this was a no-brainer purchase for me, and hopefully the next owner will find it enjoyable as well. So I am going to just kind of release this real quick before I end the video, just to show the infotainment system. So like I mentioned earlier, you have, I just have it set to speed, but there's a menu button where you can change all sorts of things. You can look at trip and fuel information. I just leave it there. And in case it wasn't clear what I was saying on the video, this is the infotainment system, and all of these buttons, all of this stuff, it's just buttons and stuff everywhere. I find it to be a tad busy, but you know, it's okay. That's just me. All right, so that's about all I have for this 2012 Buick Regal. I appreciate you watching, and I'm actually going to try to film another one today. We'll see how many I can get out this weekend. Y'all take it easy. I appreciate you watching.